Okay. So let's look at the first couple questions.
Okay. Right.
So what grade would you give Morgan for how he pursued Skyhook and why?
What grade would you? Morgan? Who's Morgan?
Ted Morgan. Ted. I think
Oh,
you're
okay.
Ted.
I was like, Morgan? I don't remember any Morgan.
Yeah. So I think he did pretty good. He did a lot of kind of searching around for a little bit to find what would work and something that would be nice to put together. And the way it was told, it seems like it took him a long time to figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
But I think any product development takes like 6 months to a year to get something that's fully functioning and ready to present.
Yeah, I would say so too. I think he did really good coming out with like researching and coming up with the idea of let's do this with I mean I think he worked with the other guy, right?
Yeah.
Um, well, at first I was like I was like maybe he's not gonna make it, like he's not like he just it's him and his one friend that's trying to do it.
Yeah.
Then like slowly, it was like a really slow process that they went through to get the loan and find the investor and everything. So it was interesting.
Yeah, it definitely took a lot of time. No, it
Mhm.
seemed like it took him a lot of time to finally get the ball rolling there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but maybe I don't know. I feel like this case study went into a lot more detail.
Uh-huh.
But
You give like
uh,
more detail on how like how he pursued his idea, rather than
yeah,
they found this investor and they give them $10 million and this did blah 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 blah.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, what's the other question? Discuss
Uh,
as a group what great. Oh, this is all we talked about. Skyhook developed a pretty cool technology that has gotten lots of positive feedback. Put yourself in the shoes of Ted Morgan. Why the lack of sales? Good question.
so like I said, it seemed like because this was such a new kind of technology
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of the companies that they were pitching to weren't they knew it was a good idea, they just weren't sure how to make it work within their big
Hmm.
corporate company.
Yeah, I think it was like I think the lack of knowledge, I guess, in that side of technology, because it was completely something new, and there was like so many things going on. Like you have to literally like drive across the whole country to get all this information, to find all those Wi-Fi points and everything, and it just seems like like wow, that's a lot of work. Like it's probably not viable to do it.
Yeah. They said when selling inside large corporations, it is often unclear who would make a decision regarding Skyhook. So like they pitched all their ideas, but like I said that I can't remember who it said, but like I think it was Nokia. But Nokia was like, that sounds like a great idea, and they would pitch it to the application people, and they would be like, well, let's talk to like the production people and see what they think. And so like nobody was ever to make a decision,
Uh-huh.
even though they liked the stuff.
Yeah. Mm.
So that kind of goes into the next question too. So review the details below and describe the proposed deal outcome and lessons learned when they were talking with different companies. So let's pull those up somewhere.
Mhm. I think with Microsoft, at first they were also very optimistic about it, and they're like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I think they're gonna. Is that the Microsoft? They were gonna get 300,000, then they backed off and said only 100,000.
Yeah, and I don't know how they were supposed to like make that better. Like I'm a terrible negotiator, so I don't know how that would have worked. But I don't know if they needed to follow up more or what happened there, but it's like it seemed like the proposal was going to go pretty good. It seemed like it was going to go through, and then they obviously dropped it down way too far below what they could accept.
Like, I mean, it's just my personal opinion and the things that I learned from other classes and stuff. Like, these kind of things like definitely need like lots of data to prove that this technology really works. And I think they really lacked like data from if you're trying to do like this concept going to work with the whole country world, but they didn't have like data to support the whole thing. They have like a little bit of this and that here and that, and I think that's one of the reasons that lots of companies backed out because of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So the outcome? What were the lessons learned? What could they have learned from that Microsoft deal?
Let me see.
I think, like you said, they just weren't quite ready because this Microsoft deal was even before they had a Series A.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really have like product validation yet, but Microsoft thought it was a good idea, so they kind of played with the idea of making it happen and putting a contract together. But then, like you said, when push comes to shove, they didn't really have any data. They weren't sure if it was for sure going to work the way they wanted
Mm-hmm.
it to. Maybe.
Yeah, and at that point, like when they were talking to Microsoft, they only spent like $2,000 to build that whole software, the whole
Yeah,
program. So I don't even know what was like, how much effort was really into making that thing at that point.
yeah. Maybe they should have tried putting it and making it happen in like a smaller company or a smaller corporation, just so that they could show these big companies that like, look, this stuff really works.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah. I mean, they should have done like something like in a smaller scale first, and kind of like prove their theory on like this new Wi-Fi point thing will work. It will pinpoint all the Wi-Fi points and figure out where the people's, I don't know, location, whatever they're trying to figure out. If they could show that in a step-by-step process, like people would more likely like, oh, it's cool, it's a good idea. But they'll probably be like, they just probably like show like a demo and said, oh, so this is gonna work. This is They didn't really have anything to show, but they were like, this is the step, this is how it's gonna work. But there was nothing to prove that it's gonna work that way.
Yeah, I'm curious if like because it sounds like what they're trying to do is they're just trying to get a contract with a big company, and if I don't know how it works in that business, but like maybe if you create a contract with a company, then you can't like keep going to other companies because it's like you're giving your product to that company to use, so you can't give it to others.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it sounded like this I don't know, app or this is this is it's a chip, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It sounds like you just hook it up with the other devices, and you can pretty much use it any devices like phone and laptop and pretty much anything. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah. I just don't know if like if you struck a contract with somebody like say Apple,
Hmm.
I bet in the contract it says you cannot sell this to anybody else.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they pay you a lot too. Like like if you make a deal with Apple and it's like a $10 million deal, Apple will definitely want them to like, oh, please, like make a contract saying, since you're working with us, don't sell this product to different people because we want to have that. I don't know, this the priority, I guess, of that product
Yeah.
ownership. Yeah.
Kind of curious what happened to them.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, E911. That's
I,
awesome. What the deal was, how it happened, and what happened there. See if I can find that real quick.
mhm. Oh, it says that once they like did the presentation to the company, apparently the boss of the company was like, "Oh, this thing is gonna be really difficult to support because they're gonna need a lot of capital to build out the network, and the market could take a long time to develop." And I think that's why they backed out because it is true.
Yeah, that's right.
Or did they invest with them or no?
Yeah, they invested
They
uh
did.
6.5 million in a Series B.
Uh, Bain Capital and Intel Investments. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so
Where?
they yeah, so this was their pitch to a Series B,
Mm-hmm.
which it worked well apparently, even though they had issues with it. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's so. I mean, one of the guy who like invested like 25,000 early in the like early age of the company, he was like pretty much gambling his money. He was like, this is a really great idea. If it works, I'm gonna make a lot of money. If it doesn't, like, it's like $25,000.
yeah, but I mean, it seems like everybody agrees that this is a really good idea, but they just like they're struggling to find out how to really use it, like how to incorporate it into their company and things like that. So for investors, it's a kind of a pretty good bet for investing, but like they said, it's a kind of a tough sell.
hmm And also one thing I've noticed with most of our case study, like most of the tech startup company, I guess they have been successful. Like all the technology related companies, and I think that's a trend that people can see. All these tech companies coming with new ideas, getting really successful. I mean, it might take a time, but they are being successful, and that might be also a reason that people want to invest in them, even though
Yeah,
they're not doing good right now. They're like, oh, it's not doing right now, but in a couple of years, this might take off, like Bitcoin.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, just for a lot of these companies, like you said, it just takes time for everything to catch on.
hmm And there's like so much money you have to put at first, and like you have to go without money for everything. Like they were like not getting any money for themselves. They left their apartment, their home, and they're pretty much living in a car or something.
Well, I think once you get to that point, then it's like, look, we're fully committed. So we either like we make
uh,
this thing really happen, or else we're gonna be homeless. Like those are the
yeah,
two options.
pretty much. Like it's like do or die. Like like if I'm like putting all everything in trying to build this thing, I'm living in a car. I want to make sure that I put 100% and make it work. Otherwise, there's like it's not gonna be worth it. You
Yeah, and
can't
a
give
lot of
up at that point.
a lot of these people always like they talk about dreaming about owning a business, and they have their MBA or they go to Harvard and things like
Uh-huh.
that. So like obviously they have the training. This is something they've been thinking about for a long time, so they know the risks.
Uh-huh.
But for
Yeah, I
me,
don't.
I'm like, look, I'm fine with my 9 to 5 stable life. Like that's just fine with me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, one thing I don't know. One thing I kind of saw in all this case study was like people going to study like doing their MBA in Harvard or different universities and stuff. And I was thinking, like in my reflection paper when I was like, do we really need like a master's to be like a good entrepreneur? Like to create your own business. I don't know. Cause what do you think?
I think I just think the more that you see, the more you understand how running a business works. Like
Mhm.
obviously, like reading all these case studies has helped me understand like, look, this is how most entrepreneurs work, and this is what they need, and this is the structure that they need, and they need Series A investing, and they need there's all these elements that they need. So
Uh-huh.
I imagine like you go to MBA, you get an MBA, or you go to Harvard, they're probably just doing the same thing where they are like, look, you're just going to study all these other companies who have done this before, grab whatever you think is useful and good, and now you'll know how to essentially run a company. Like, I don't think you need that.
Uh-huh.
But I think it definitely helps to know how to kind of structure it and how to make it work.
That's true. Yeah,
And
that
the
was.
network, like the network that these Harvard people get, like if I at this moment, I don't think I know a single person who would invest like $50 in some idea that I had. Like, and these guys have people investing like 25,000. Like it's like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah.
I just need rich friends. So last one, Nokia, the proposal. I don't know if it gave specific terms, but like the main thing that went wrong is that, like we talked about, nobody was a decision maker. They couldn't find out who was going to make the actual decision, so
Mhm.
nothing really came of that one. Which that problem is going to be solved when they talk with Apple because you're talking with the biggest decision maker there.
Yeah, Steve Jobs. It's either you'll make it or you'll not when you talk to him, I guess.
That's right.
There's no but if let me talk to someone else.
Yep. All
But
right.
anyway.
Let's go. Number 6. Who benefits from the technology? What problem does it solve? Who has this problem? Do the business decision makers in the company feel the pain that this solution solves?
Uh-huh. What's it? What is it? Who benefits from technology? Okay.
So I think a lot of these companies they understand the problem that it solves, and they see that it could be very useful. I don't know if they like I don't know if it's a problem that they're trying to solve, but it's more like this would be a really good added feature.
Yeah, it's like an add-on,
Yeah,
for like what for already like what they have. It's not like solving anything. It's like a location. What does it exactly mean? I think it says location services, right?
yeah. And essentially, it's like I think early. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like early phones and even phones now. Like they still have trouble finding GPS signals when you're like out in the middle of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
So that's obviously still kind of a problem. So
Yeah,
that's this seems like a step in the right direction.
well, I don't know. I hope so, because I mean, we still like with our phone and everything right now. With these days, we still have problem getting a network or signal uh in our phone to get the GPS going on, or like even the Google Maps or anything. So I'm not sure this technology is in our phone.
Yeah, I don't know either. It very well might not be. Probably not actually.
Probably not. Yeah, because if if we had that chip in our phone, if and it's working, it should be able to pull all that, I don't know, the points from Wi-Fi from whatever it's pulling, and be
Yeah,
able to process that and give us, still give us good signal strength.
right. Yeah, I don't know. I think it solves a good problem. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to sell it to somebody. All right, number 7. Which strategy option do you favor? Local ads, sell the company, or persevere?
At this point, I don't know if they want to sell a company working after working so much, like like they put so much work and effort in this company, building this company.
Well, they don't really have much to sell. Like they haven't
Yeah,
really like produced any revenues or anything like that.
yeah, yeah. Their
It's just
sales is like nothing. Like they don't have any revenue at all.
yeah, I don't know. I think the only option they really do have is to persevere and find some company that will like become a customer.
Hmm. Yeah, I think like earlier, it says in the case study, it says like it just it's just one of those things that it's gonna take a long time to develop, and be able to like work. So you just have to find an investor who is willing to wait that long, invest and wait that long to get this to see the product working and everything. And if they can do that, they can probably grow later. But I don't think right away they can you know do anything about it.
Yeah,
So local ads, I don't even know why they do wanna are thinking about doing local ads. What's the context on that?
I don't know. Just trying to find anybody to get to snag up their business instead of going for these big corporations. It's more like, look, we'll just take anybody.
Yeah, cause the thing with this concept is like you need to have somebody big enough that has a capacity to invest big. Uh, like you can't just like get some like small investors and get like $25,000 and make this company run, because like it takes millions of dollars to run this company.
Yeah, I don't think local ads would do anything. I think they need to just persevere and keep finding a way to pitch to these large corporations because as soon as they get a contract with a big corporation, like they're set. Like it already said, they could get well over $1 million a year, depending on if they get the right company.
Uh-huh. Well, hopefully Apple.
Yeah, hopefully that would be pretty good. All right, so convince everyone in your group that you have the right plan. For each of the options above, discuss how likely Skyhook will be to succeed given the following circumstances. So, current team skills. It doesn't really dive too much into like all the team skills and things like that. It seems like he kind of just put together a team of people that he knew from his old work.
Yeah, yeah, I think he pretty much did that.
So it's tough to know how super great the team is.
No idea. And also he's like using people from, where is it? What country he's using people to develop this kit software?
Ukraine.
Oh, Ukraine. Like he's outsourcing to build this. Like there's nobody actually doing the. I mean, I think there are like few people who is doing stuff down there, but it's actually being programmed and developed in Ukraine. So no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the current team, is anything special.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be better if he brought some people on with more experience. Like you read all these other case studies, you see the CEO like seeking out like the absolute best in the industry to come
Uh-huh.
on board.
Yep.
The next one is resources. So, how likely will they succeed with their current resources? I think I think they have the right amount of resources, and they're getting the product to be where it needs to be. It's just one of those things where you got to find somebody to buy it.
Uh-huh. I think their marketing team needs to be bigger. Like I think there's like 2 person in marketing. And if you're trying to launch something and you're trying to capture all these customers or consumers for your product, like
Yeah,
you can't just like have a small marketing team and just do few stuff. You need to like you gotta go big because to get the attention of all this big company and people, you gotta have some kind of like I don't know, like big display or some kind of big boom they need to do.
right. And then, how likely are they to succeed with their current business model? I don't I don't know how they could make it better. Like we said, they could have pitched it to like instead of focusing on these huge corporations, they could work on more like lower level people and just start getting customers and
Hmm.
refining the product and making sure it works. Something they could have done, but I mean, if they get this deal with Apple, then obviously their business model is just fine.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. As a group, prepare an agenda for your call with Steve Jobs. What is your BATNA? Wait, what? What is
Yeah,
that?
I looked it up. It stands for best alternative to a negotiated agreement. So it's like if you don't get your first agreement, what's your best alternative? So I was thinking that like he needs to come at this with his like at least 3 or 4 alternatives because Steve Jobs is notorious for being like a huge negotiator. So like you've got to have your like if the negotiation goes this way, these are the terms that we want. If it goes this way, these are the terms we want.
Hmm.
Things like that because you don't want to show up into a meeting and then have it go like in a direction that you're not prepared for and then be like, well, geez, I don't know if this is a good deal for me or if this is like a bad deal for me.
Yeah.
So, what are Jobs' interests?
What are Jobs' interests? I'm pretty sure he just wants to see if this is something that can boost like the iPhone. Uh, and iPhone already has big market in it, and he's just probably want to like have some add-on product.
Yeah, and like it says, he kind of has all the cards here. Like, I don't think
Hmm.
he absolutely needs Skyhook.
Hmm.
But he's kind of in the area where he can do a lot of the negotiating, and um, I don't think he absolutely needs it. I think he might be the kind of guy who's willing to take a gamble for the right price and just say like kind of like what Microsoft did.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, we'll look at these terms, but then in the end, like we're gonna do very not that much. We're just gonna knock it down, and if you want it, the business, then here it is.
Hmm. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Are we on 3? Why did he call you?
That's a great question. Why would Steve Jobs call this person?
Yeah. That's I don't know. I thought like Steve Jobs would tell other people to call him.
Right?
Yeah, but he's calling him directly, so I don't know. He might be thinking something big with the
Yeah,
product.
yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Like he's the one who makes all those like the big decisions about Apple, and he
Hmm.
wants to try to be ahead of the game and like the most innovative stuff. So he might just want to kind of see what your product's all about and what you're willing to negotiate it for.
Uh-huh.
So who should pay? Will you pay Apple to get onto their device, or will Apple pay you? How much will you propose? Support your answer.
Well, definitely Skyhook is no condition to pay Apple.
Yeah, that I don't see how that would work.
Yeah. They're just thinking of banking on this deal from Apple. That's what they're thinking about.
Yeah, I don't see how they could pay Apple to get their device on their phone. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
How much would you propose? Need to go look at the numbers that it was talking about. So Apple would have to pay 5 to 10 million annually for a limited set of products with Wi-Fi, and 25 to 50 million over the first 5 years of the contract as volumes grew. So that's
So
Sky.
that's the assumption of Skyhook saying that if Apple works with us, that's how much we're going to charge them.
Yeah,
But it doesn't. I don't think it says about Skyhook paying Apple anything.
no, I don't see that at all. I mean, I would say like first of all, if you come to the negotiating table, like you give them your standard offer. Like no matter who it is, it's like, look, this is our product. This is how much we sell it for. And it's kind of like basic retail, right?
Uh-huh.
Obviously, your product is marked up enough, like that you even if you sell it at a discount, you're still going to make money, but you still offer it at full price first.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're really trying to sell your stuff, then it's like, okay, the person doesn't want full price. How about I give you a 10% discount?
Yeah.
But you might as well always try the full price first.
True. True.
And then, how big is this opportunity for Skyhook?
Big. If they are
Yeah,
to work with Apple, they will. It's probably going to be big, 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 big.
yeah, that's kind of exactly what you're looking for.
And probably, I mean, once the Apple gets them, and other people will be like, "Oh, what is this? The Apple doing this. Let's try to do that with our company too." And I'm pretty sure lots of things, lots of other company will be interested in working with them too.
Yeah. All right. So I looked up on Wikipedia, which is the most reliable place ever. It says Skyhook was founded in 2003. Let's see. Skyhook powers location-based services for companies such as Apple, Samsung, Sony, HP, Dell, Sharp, Philips, and MapQuest. So there you go. They hit the jackpot.
Yeah, I would say so.
I wonder why they're not. Well, I don't. They probably don't make enough to go public,
Hmm.
but I would imagine they're rolling in some dough because every year they're just bringing in money.
Yeah, they're
I
getting all
don't.
the money from investors.
I don't know how much they would have to like change their product up. I mean, you can put in updates and everything, but huh, interesting stuff like this. I don't know. This going back to our conversation before. It's like we're too comfortable with our cushy lives, and why would we risk everything we have for a company? But then it's always at the end. I'm like, man, I wish I could be this person and like make millions of dollars with a great idea.
Hmm. Well, I mean, you can try.
No, I can't. I'm not going to do that. I'll make $1 million
All you need
some
to
other
do
way.
is build something really high tech product and get some angel investors and then put it out in market and give it about like week or two. I mean, not week or two, year or two.
Yeah, there you go.
And
I can't.
then you'll start making bank.
I can't think that big. I'm not a big thinker. I think small scale stuff.
Aren't you entrepreneur management?
Yeah, but
That's good. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna change it to finance. I don't know what I'm doing. I like the idea, but I don't know if I have it in the cards to start my own business. Probably something small, but nothing like this where I need Series A investing and all that stuff. That's too much.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to be a millionaire, it says that you have to be an entrepreneur.
It's true. That is true. All right, that was good. I'll stop the broadcast.